music. He's like love, 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 and music. La la la, love, 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 and music. Love, love.
Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. This is my review for The Real Housewives of Potomac. This is season 3, episode 5. Yeah. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Y'all will be getting this late Sunday, early Monday morning. Yeah. I am wearing the I'm Big shirt, the first design, which I don't think nobody really seen, so I just want to show it. So at first I had this design. It still says, you know, beautiful, intelligent, and gifted. All that is still on here, but this was the first design that I had for the shirt, and then I switched it up to what it is now. So I'm the only person that has this version of the shirt, and I feel special. So yeah, but you know, the shirt is still up. The link to get the shirt is in the description box below. I will also put the link in the comment section. You can get the I'm Fat shirt, the I'm Big with the Be Big shirt, or a mug if you have not gotten one already. This episode of Potomac, it wasn't really interesting to me. Honestly, it was not. It was a little bit boring. It was kind of like, I don't know, I just kind of was like, eh. It could be that I was tired because I was sitting through 3 hours worth of the damn Avengers movie, so I just think I was just tired just in general. But yeah, you know, it was an okay episode. You know, we see this beginning, starting off, and now Ashley wants to be a yoga instructor. You know, she said when her and Michael was separated, she kind of got into it, so now she wants to kind of really study it and have her own classes and everything. So I'm like, well, okay, you know, you gotta have different streams of income and try different things. So she was sitting in one of class with one of her friends who was an instructor to kind of get her feet. Oh, I had this in my hand the whole time. The lipstick of today, well, of tonight, because it's 1:40 a.m. This is actually Mary Kay. I don't know when I bought this Mary Kay. I've had it for a while. The color is called Really Red. It's called Really Red. So I mean, I like it. I think this may be my first time wearing it recently or on camera. It kind of looks like the Rihanna Fenty Beauty, but it feels different. Like it, you know, I feel like if I take a few swigs of some drinks, it'll kind of go off my lips, but whatever. We're gonna rock with it tonight. So yeah, Ashley is doing a class with a friend of hers. She has invited Giselle and also Candace to come to the class that she is co-teaching, and it was a cute little moment or whatever. You know, I really do think Giselle and Candace both say like yoga is not their thing. I don't think I would like to do yoga either. I just, you know, but I don't know, maybe I would. I'm gonna check out a yoga class here. But I laughed when they made them say hum, and Giselle was like, I would have looked around too, because I was like, how am I supposed to know in what key to make that noise? Like, how am I supposed to know how long I was to do it? Like, it was as if everybody else knew what to do, and she kind of looked around like, well, how did y'all know what key to say that? It was just funny to me. I kept giggling in my own head. So we then see how Ashley, you know, brings up that Candace is getting married. I told y'all before, Candace's whole storyline this season will be her and this man who she's marrying. This is gonna leave it at that. So, you know, she brings up how, you know, her husband is, you know, he happens to be white. However, he's white with a black soul. And I'm like, okay. So, she then said, you know, because when he starts to drink too much, he becomes brown. And I said, okay. And so Giselle was like, well, like, is it offensive? Like, is it offensive? She's like, no, he's not offended. And she's like, no, like, to black people. Because sometimes if you see a person who does not, quote unquote, act black, it's weird when you see them drink a little bit and then all of a sudden they, what up, homie? What up, dude? You know, it's like, where'd that come from, bruh? Look at what happened. I don't know what happened. So she said, no, it's not. You know, it's just kind of in him. He's you know, he has a brown soul. Okay. And then the topic of this man's dick come up. Look, I am a firm believer that only your closest friend is a person who you would even speak, and you don't even give details, but like, you shouldn't be telling random people who not your bestest of the best friend about your husband's or future husband, your fiance's dick. This is common courtesy. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think you should do that. It's one thing you say, well, girl, I'm satisfied. You know what I'm saying? That part's cool. But I'm like, why is she like, Ashley brought it up as if it had been the topic of conversations on many of occasions. And I'm like, I don't understand that. And then to bring it up to Giselle too, I'm looking like, what? And then Giselle was like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, well, the tip is pink and then the shaft is brown skin, and he's a white man. So I said, I don't want to know what your husband's penis looks like, girl. I don't even, because even as a viewer now, when I look at him, all I see is a penis, and I don't like that. So, I just think it was just kind of crazy. We then see Janelle asking about, if they're going to get a prenup. And Candace is like, he doesn't really have money. I do. Well, that's when you get a prenup, honey. That's what you do. And so Giselle was like, you should really get a prenup. Like, I'm just letting you know, you should really get one. So the next scene that we see is actually Candace and her fiance at dinner, talking or whatever. And she do bring up how, she talked to the ladies and how Giselle mentioned a prenup. And he said, oh, did she now? And I was like, oh, here we go. But he surprisingly say, I came in the middle with nothing, I can leave with nothing, I'm willing to sign whatever you want me to sign. And I do think that's a noble thing to do. I do think when you are in it for the right reason, you should say, well, yeah, I didn't come here, I shouldn't get what you already have. Like, it's a difference when you marry and y'all accumulate things together. That's, that's community property or whatever. But whatever she had before they got married should be hers. And I like how he said, I'm gonna come in I'm gonna leave what I came in with. They bring up how, she said how that made her like love him more or whatever. And then they bring up how they're gonna have this football type plastic bubble ball game. It's when you put yourself in a plastic bubble and you run into each other and you like play soccer or whatever. We also find out that White Chris has he owns like a restaurant, like a barbecue restaurant, so he's gonna cater. So I'm like, well, you gotta make sure that it's good though, bro, because you can't be giving black people barbecue if it's nasty. We see a little scene of Karen sending her daughter off to college for her junior year. I was like, oh, okay. We see Monique and Sharice meeting up at the house where Sharice said how she's busy. And now she wants to make another busy thing on her to-do list. I'm sorry. And she wants to make like a recipe for when kids are sick. It kind of knocks the sickness out of them. And I was like, she said she want to bottle it up and make it. I'm like, you already talking about how you ain't got time to do anything. Now you're going to be in your kitchen trying to make concoctions and girl bye. I mean, I think Monique is not maybe handling or dealing with her miscarriage. And that's the reason why she's doing everything and trying to add everything to her plate, because she's not facing it all the way. But, let's not, talk about that too much. We also see how she showed her she showed her Candace's invitation to the thing. And Sharice was like, that looks childish. Like, that's like for a kid's party. And I'm like, but the kind of event it was a fun, it was a fun little event. So I'm like, Sharice, shut up, girl, just be quiet. I'm happy Sharice's hair looks better. Like, she's a very much so upgraded her weave this season. It was horrible season 1. It wasn't too good season 2 either. But she got a new hairstylist or a new wigologist or something who got some good hair, some good clean looking hair that don't look dirty and dusty or whatever. We then see how Monique was kind of like ragging on Giselle, saying Giselle can't read right and how she got her ghostwriter. She need to have a ghost reader. And I'm like, people sometimes when you're reading and you're in front of other people, you do mess up. I've done it before too. I do it on here. I do it talking to y'all sometimes. That don't mean she can't read. I mean, some people are not good readers and some people are good writers. But Monique thinks she only thinks, so I'm going to let it be what it is. Robin had like a little painting party at her house. Which she just had all the girls come over so they can help paint a room. It was Robin, Giselle, Sharice, Karen. Karen was the only one that seems to come dressed to paint. I mean, Sharice was not dressed to paint at all. I think she thought she was the dang on foreman and was going to be giving out instructions, because when Karen walked up, I said, why is she like she ain't dressed? I'm like, because I didn't know what Robin was having. I'm like, why is Karen so like sporty, like in sneakers and like, I was like, what is she? Because no one else was dressed like her. And I'm like, oh, she dressed the right way. Y'all did. So they went to the little room with like painting the walls or whatever. And they was like writing messages on the wall. So then Sharice brought up how Monique said that, you know what I'm saying, Giselle needed a ghostwriter. And Giselle was like, you know what I'm saying, oh, she's so sad, simple, and dumb. Bless her heart. I said, sad, simple, and dumb, SSD? Okay, we're going to... So stupid. She also brings up how she met Candace and how Candace brought up her man's penis and the color of it. I was like, I don't care about that. But they was like, did you ask that question? She was like, no. She volunteered this information. It was kind of crazy. You know, Karen brings up how she was also invited to this little bubble thing. She's like, you know what I'm saying, it's just not age appropriate for me and Ray. It's not, because Karen every bit of 60 and Ray every bit of 72. So they're gonna break a hip or a jawbone or ankle, or them bones ain't right. Nope. And she was like, I'm not going, you know, I'll go, but I'm not going to participate. Smart idea. You know, Robin then brings up how, you know, she never wants to be broke again. You know how she's happy in the house and how they're finally financially stable. She brings up how, you know, at one point in time it got so bad that they had a like heat cut off, like, you know, the gas was cut off, and you know the kids had to take cold showers because they didn't have any heat because it got that bad. She's saying, so you know, it's like when as he talks shit for her, you know, she's like, she has no idea what we came back from, what we had to fight through. And I think some people don't understand that. Sometimes we only see things from the outside looking in. So like, oh, they were together, he cheated, they lost their money, all these things happen, and now all of a sudden she happy that he just want to be with her. We don't, you know what I'm saying, things happen in people's lives. It is what it is. And like she said, they had to fight to get back to where they are. And at the end of the day, as long as he is a better person and she is happy, who are we to judge? It is what it is. I think, you know, it's been long enough that they have been able to both grow from the experience. It wasn't as if, you know, last season he did something dumb and this season they back together. Rashida and Kirk. Love hip hop Atlanta. Pisses me off all the time. But yeah, it's like they've had enough time to rebuild what they had. Like it wasn't a quick fix. You know, it's what you have to do sometimes. So yeah, that was kind of cool. We see Ashley and Michael talk. Same conversation. He wants her to cut her mother off financially. She has not done it yet. At this point, I feel like, you know, she keeps saying, well, what's my mom? And it's just hard to do. And A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. I feel like people was in my comment section like he don't have to support her mama. I don't think he should have to support her mother. It was weird because the way Ashley kept wording it last week was as if I don't do this, I can't talk to my mother anymore. And that's where I was coming from, saying she should not have to cut her mom off fully for him. She should say, Mom, we can't support you financially, yes. But I was speaking from a standpoint of she ain't got to stop talking to her mom or just like cut her off, just sever. No. So, I mean, now that Michael specifically said, like, you know, if you can't cut her off money-wise, I'm saying, I don't know how I can move forward in this relationship. And I get his point because he does not want to financially support her mom. But I see now that he's not saying to her, cut your mama off from your life entirely. He's just saying, I ain't paying no more bills for her. You know what I'm saying? She need to get on her own, do whatever she needs to do. And Ashley's still saying, well, I didn't tell her that entirely, you know, but I'm working on it. I mean, at this point, if Michael did leave Ashley, I don't think he'll be wrong, because it seems as if he has given her ample opportunities to tell her that she needs to be cut off financially. But you still my mama, and we can still, you know, I'm not cutting you off my life, but we can't support you financially. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a normal request. You know what I'm saying? It's fine. But she said she's gonna work on it. Girl, no, Michael, stop. Put a damn lock on your account. Take her name off, and then don't clear them checks. Okay, do that, and then that's how they'll see. So everybody goes to this hot ass park, you know, for this little football, soccer, bubble game or whatever. We had Sharice there, Giselle, Robin, of course Candace, Karen ended up coming, Monique came. The funniest shit ever, when Robin met Candace, Robin was like, she didn't even realize she met her. And it's like, oh, nice to meet you. She's like, oh, we actually met before, like at the party. It was really, really quick. You're in your own little world, so you might not remember. And then they cut to her like literally meeting the girl. And then she's like, I have no memory of that. I've done that before. I've met people quickly because somebody will walk in and say, hey, this is so and so. I'm like, oh, hi. And if I don't see them for another 2 weeks, I don't remember meeting them at all. And it really do depend on what I'm doing at the time. I do that work all the time. It is what it is. So that to me was funny. But for one, it was hot. They were saying I was like 90 degrees. I'm like, first of all, they're gonna all have heat strokes. And then plastic ass bubbles with the sun. It was just too much. Them wigs or them weaves. I'm like, y'all, it's just not a good look. So, but it looks as if they all had fun. Even like Karen brought Matt because she said she couldn't bring Ray. Moniece brought her cousin / assistant dude because she said Chris was at work. Giselle did not bring Sterling because she said he was out of town checking on his house or whatever. So like no one brought their significant other except Candace because it was her event. And yeah, nobody else brought their boyfriend or their husband. It was, which kind of make Candace like, this is supposed to be a couples thing, and no one brought their spouses. I'm looking like they don't know you yet, girl. They almost don't care. So, they in little bubbles or whatever, it seemed like they had fun for the short time they were playing, but because it was so hot, they did not play long. As I said, it was like 90 degrees outside. I wouldn't have played that long either. And at this point, particular time, Chris on the phone because the food ain't there, and he was in charge of the food. And he like, you gotta get the food here quick. You can't be not feeding us black folks in the gang gonna park in the heat. You can't do that. It was just not, conducive to being happy. And come to find out that like the food truck is like caught in construction or whatever, and it's trying to get through. So the food does get there eventually. And I'm gonna throw up or something. The food does get there eventually, but it wasn't no napkins. I'm like, it was barbecue, but who brings barbecue with no napkins? It did not have no sauce on it. Like, I was just like, how do you come to a park and not even if napkins don't come with the food? How do you not bring napkins as a regular person? Like, girl, I just don't get it. And so I think it was either Sharice or Robin, because Candace gave them shirts to wear, but they was like they not wearing because it was too hot, and it would be them put on another layer of clothing. So it was either Sharice or Rob who said, can I wipe my hands on this shirt because I ain't got no napkin? And she's like, yeah, I was gonna do too. I'm like, the barbecue could not have been that good because one, I heard nobody smacking. For two, I didn't see sauce on nobody's fingers or their mouth. And I'm like, this must have been some real dry barbecue and whatever. So they again start talking. Candace again brings up her husband's penis. I'm like, girl, please stop talking about this man's penis. Even he said, my dick again? Yes, again. We do not want to hear about that anymore. So we had that whole conversation. Candace then brings up her mom, how her mom and her bought the house, how her mom pays half the mortgage, and then her and Chris pays the other half. And they like, what? Your mom? She's like, yeah, it's like her summer house. So when she comes for a month, and she comes once a month and stays in part of the house, and she just, she pays her half, and then we pay our half. And it was like, well, what does Chris even pay for? And she was like, oh, well, like, he pays for things, like he pays my car note. She's like, and technically, he pays the mortgage, like I kind of pay utilities. But I'm like, why are you even, girl, you offering up too much information? And then even Karen said, girl, just stop answering that question, because you keep going, they're gonna keep using it against you. So just kind of stop. She brought up how he has 3 kids and how he's divorced and how they want to get the kids to come move, out there. And I think Giselle said, and the mama too. And then she said, yeah, we want them all to come up here. And they said, well, is your mama gonna pay for that too? She was like, no, of course not. I mean, I don't think Chris is like using her for her money, so to speak. I think that's kind of how they were trying to make it seem, because she was saying like, my mom pays half the mortgage, my mom was paying for the wedding, then me and Chris pay for our half. It was as if her mom is paying the majority stuff. It's like, yeah, what does he pay? Like, what's going on here? But she said, no, he does pay for more stuff. I just pay like utilities. And I do think that's what most couples do. Like, if the man paying the rent or the mortgage, and then the girlfriend or the wife or the fiance or whatever sometimes handle the cable bill, the DTE bill. We have your cable, DT, and the water bills. We pay the little stuff, and they pay the big stuff. Or, once you get married, it all comes from one pot. Everything gets paid all together, because at this point, it's our money. Even though every woman should still have their own separate account. It's just a little bit of mad money, okay? Always keep some mad money, on standby. So, and then, at the end of it, Karen's wig literally was sliding off. I don't know if it was just too hot, and because her hair was sweating, it just slid up off her forehead. But I'm like, she was sitting there like doing this or whatever, and then this kept sliding. And at one point, you just saw it was like this, like bunched up, and I'm like, her wig is gonna fall off. And then she kept trying to put her shades on it to show, because her forehead was further and further back, baby. And so I was her wig is shifting like if somebody get her a hat, like somebody fix their helmet on her head. And that's kind of how it went off. So I mean, like I said, it wasn't too much going on in this particular episode. This episode was more about Candace's man dick than it was anything else, and I don't even care about that. So look, put your comments below. I'm over it. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. Peace.